Yo, this your boy Southern Cal. I'm back at y'all with another video. Real quick before we get into this video, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. Also, hit the notification bell so you will get a notification every time I drop a new video. Also, if you're feeling generous and you would like to donate to this channel, if you like what you see, you want to donate to the channel, you want to be helpful, then my PayPal and my Cash App information will all be in the description box below. And let's talk about it. After 30 years, they have started an investigation on the murder of Tupac. Reggie Wright Jr. said that it was coming, that something was going to happen for Keefe D, that's going to involve Keefe D. He said that. We just didn't know what it was. But Las Vegas Police Department did a raid on a home in Las Vegas, and come to find out that home belonged to Keefe D. For those of y'all who don't know who Keefe D is, Keefe D was a leader, a boss, a shot caller back in the day for the Southside Compton Crips. The Southside Compton Crips were also associated and affiliated with P. Diddy, or P. Diddy was affiliated with them. P. Diddy got affiliated with the Southside Compton Crips through a guy named Eric Martin, aka Zip, because Zip and Keefe D were involved in the drug business or whatever. So, Keefe D was Eric Zip's plug, and so Zip knew Keefe D personally. He personally put him on the phone with P. Diddy. P. Diddy asked Keefe D, can he come to LA? Is it okay for him to come to LA? Keefe D said, yeah, why not? He said because of the big guy. P. Diddy was afraid of Suge and Tupac at the time. Because Suge Knight had the whole mob Paru behind him at the time. So he was afraid because he knew that, that Suge was looking for him. So what happened was he became affiliated with the Southside Compton Crips. And they began providing services for Diddy. Anytime he came out to LA, they would go to that neighborhood, the neighborhood of the Southside Compton Crips. And that would be their protection. So then of course we all know about that infamous night. Well, to back it up, there was a fight between Orlando Anderson, one of the Southside Compton Crips who's very reputable in the streets, and Trayvon Lane, the mob Paru, at a mall in Compton, and they attempted to take Trayvon Lane's death row chain because back then there was allegedly there was a rumor of a $10,000 bounty that P. Diddy had put out, a $10,000 bounty on all death row chains. So Orlando then was trying to snatch that chain. From my understanding, they tried to snatch the chain, but they were unsuccessful. And so fast forward to Las Vegas, to the fight night between Mike Tyson and Bruce Seldom. Trayvon happened to see Orlando Anderson that night. He went and told the homies that, hey, they're going to one of the dudes that jumped me right there. Tupac overhears this, takes off over to where Orlando Anderson is, and he knocks Orlando Anderson out. And, him, Suge Knight, and the rest of the mob Paru homies, they put hands and feet on him. And they beat the shit out of him that night. And afterwards, Southside Compton Crips, they mob up. 4 guys in the car. They see Tupac. Orlando Anderson lets off. And Tupac gets hit. 7 days later, 6 or 7 days later, Tupac dies. 6 days later, Tupac dies. So Keefe D is the only person who's alive in that car, who was in that car that night, who's still alive today. Because you had the driver who was, I think, Antonio Brown, he was driving. He's dead now. Orlando Anderson, he's dead now. And then DeAndre, I forgot his last name, but he's dead now. So Keefe D is the only one who's still alive from that night, in the car, in that white Cadillac that night. So Keefe D gets caught. They put Greg Kading on the Biggie case because, and Keefe D's name comes up because he thinks that maybe Keefe D and the Southside Company Crips killed Biggie because after the Tupac killing, P. Diddy didn't give him the money. You know what I'm saying? Which P. Diddy did give half the money, but he went through a middleman with Zip. Zip got the money and just took off with it. So to keep from going to jail, to keep from going to prison for life, for PCP, Keefe D confesses. Keefe D confesses back in 2009. Keefe D confesses, in which that was a real confession. Keefe D confesses and says that yes, that was my nephew. Orlando Anderson was my nephew. He was the one who shot Tupac that night. It came from the back seat. It was Orlando Anderson, my nephew. At first, it was going to be the DeAndre guy because the DeAndre guy was closer to the car, but he didn't want to do it. DeAndre was like, nah, I'm good. So Orlando was like, yeah, give it to me. I'll do it. Orlando Anderson gets the gun. He reaches out, unloads. Just unloads. I'm talking about that car was riddled with bullets. Just unloads on Tupac and Suge. So the case has been unsolved for years, but in my opinion, the case was solved that night it happened. This is why they say it was a gang war the very next day in Compton. It was a gang war between the Southside Compton Crips and the Mob Piru. Because they knew who did it. They already knew who did it. The streets talk. I mean, come on, man. The streets talk. They already knew who did it. So if you ask me, it was the worst kept secret. And the case been solved. And in my opinion, just like Greg Kading said, the case is not unsolved. It's just unprosecuted. And it's hard to prosecute anybody now. The only person to prosecute is Keefe D because everybody else is dead. We know, Orlando Anderson, he got killed, in May of 1999. When he got into it with another Crip set, with a rival Crip set, he started shooting. They started shooting back at him. He gets hit in the chest. He dies. And, 2 other people died as well. The Stone brothers who were both Crips from the Corner Pocket Crips, they die as well. So everybody's pretty much, like I said, everybody's dead in that car except for Keefe D. But, they have a proffer agreement on Keefe D, which is not immunity, but that he, that he won't incriminate himself if he talks about it. That was the deal, that if he came forward and said and said what happened. That was the deal they made. So 30 years later, they do a raid on a house in Las Vegas, and that Las Vegas home ends up belonging to Keefe D. So I'm not sure what's gonna happen now with Keefe D. I'm not sure if he's gonna go to jail behind it. I'm not sure. Time will tell. We'll all see what happened. But here's my thing. I think that the loyal, diehard Tupac fans in which I'm a Tupac fan. Tupac is one of the greatest to ever do it. You know, so I'm a Tupac fan. So I don't say this to hate on Tupac, because I in no way am hating on Tupac. I used to love Tupac when I was a kid. When I listened as a kid, man. When Tupac came on, I paid attention. I love me some Tupac. You know, but I also love me some Biggie. You know, at the same time as well. So, but I think that your loyal, diehard Tupac fans, it's hard for them to admit that the only person who got Tupac killed was Tupac. It's still hard for the loyal, diehard Tupac fans to admit that it had nothing to do with no government, and no government was following him. The government was not following that man. The government was not watching that man. The government had nothing to do with that. Police ain't had nothing to do with that. What would make Tupac be watched? What type of trouble was he in that made him, you know what I'm saying, that made the government watch him? Or what kind of trouble was he in to make the government? Because I know his dad said in the interview that the government was following him that night. Not true. Not true. You know, Tupac didn't get killed because he was this Malcolm X person, this Malcolm X wannabe or whatever. No, Tupac got killed because he got involved into some stuff that he should have never got involved in. At the end of the day, we say that Tupac's a gangster and this and that, but I'm gonna tell you something. Everybody is a gangster until a real gangster walks in the room, and he put his hands on a real gangster that night. Orlando Anderson. You know, Orlando Anderson was no sucker. Orlando Anderson was a known killer. He was already under investigation for 3 other murders at that time. So they knew his rep. He was a very reputable street cat. He wasn't just no follower, no wannabe, no hanger on, no none of that. Orlando was the truth. Orlando was the definition of what a street gangster looks like. That was Orlando. Everything that Tupac, all the gangster stuff that Tupac rapped about, Orlando was living it. He was doing that. And so when so Tupac signed his death certificate as soon as he put his hands on Orlando Anderson, that's when he signed his death certificate right there. That's what sealed his fate right there. He committed suicide by putting his hands on Orlando Anderson because he did not understand gang culture. And gang culture, if something happens to us, we got to come back on them. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Because if we don't come back on them, then we look weak. That's street politics. And you got to understand it. And Tupac should have known that. That night, when he put hands on Orlando, he should have known that sooner or later, they was going to come back on him. Because that's street politics right there. You got to understand how street politics work. And obviously, Tupac didn't understand that. He goes and he takes off, puts his hands on somebody that he never did his homework on. That, you know what I'm talking about? And this is why you can't just go around putting your hands on people, because you don't know who these people are. You don't know who these people are. You don't know what these people represent. You don't know who these people know. You don't know who these people are affiliated with. You don't know. This is why you just can't go around putting your hands on people. This is what I teach my kids. Don't just go around putting your hands on people, because you don't know what these people are about. You don't know who these people are connected to. You don't know what these people are capable of. You don't know. And Tupac put his hand, Tupac, he messed around and found out that night. He found out. And unfortunately, it costed him his life. Costed that man his life. Orlando Anderson couldn't go back to the hood knowing that Tupac beat him up. Man, everybody would have been trying that man. Everybody would have been trying that man. So he go back to the hood and he gets into a fight with somebody and he beats that person up, and then they scream and then they tell me, yeah, well, why you ain't do Tupac like that? You ain't do Tupac that way. Why you ain't do Tupac the way you did this man? Come on, man. He couldn't go back to the hood knowing that somebody like Tupac, somebody who was a nobody when it came to street life. Tupac was a nobody when it came to the streets. Yeah, in Hollywood, in the music industry, and in Hollywood, he was somebody. He had a name for himself. But when it came to the street life, he was a no-name. And he was a nobody. Nobody knew who he was. So my thing is this: as much as I love me some Tupac then, and I still love me some Tupac now. But if I'm keeping it real, man, nobody got Tupac killed except for Tupac. The only thing I fought Suge Knight for is for not protecting Pac. Suge should have did a better job of protecting Pac that night, and he should never let Tupac win and go and swing on Orlando Anderson. That's the only thing I fought Suge Knight for. Other than that, no, Suge Knight had nothing to do with that man getting killed. He just should have protected Tupac in a better way. He should have had somebody catch up to Tupac before he got to Orlando Anderson and was like, listen, man, I can't have you out here fighting. You the money. I can't have you out here fighting, bro. You the cash cow. Bro, you the prized possession. And plus, this dude that you get ready to swing on will kill you. He will take your life, bro. I feel like that's what Suge Knight should have done to Tupac that night. He should have had some people to escort him out the building. Because had that happened, Tupac would still be alive today. I feel that Tupac would still be alive today. So, I don't know, again, I don't know what's going to happen in this situation here. I don't know if they're going to, get Keefe D on whatever, you know what I'm saying? But, because Keefe D has talked about it a lot since the day he confessed. And, he even wrote a book about it. All that type of stuff, man. So I don't know what's going to happen now since they raided his home. I don't know what they found. I'm not sure, whatever. But shout out to Keefe D though. You know what I'm saying? Keefe, that's a naturally funny dude, man. I be when he be in them interviews, man. When I see a Keefe D interview, I automatically click because I know I'm finna get me a good laugh. I could be mad about something. I could be going through something. When I see me a Keefe D interview, a brand new Keefe D interview, I'll be like, oh yes, just in time. Thank you, Lord, just in time. Oh, that came right on time. I click, man. I know I'm finna get me a good laugh because Keefe D is a naturally funny dude, man. Like, for real. Like, so, yeah, Keefe D is, you know what I'm saying, with somebody I can hang around all day, every day, man. So, man, shout out to Keefe D, man. But anyways, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, comment down below. Let me know what you think about what's going on. The Las Vegas PD, they raided his home. And, let me know what y'all think. Let me know what details y'all think gonna come out. Let me know if y'all think Keefe D about to get locked up. Let me know what's up. Until then, this your boy Southern Cal. Gone.